This your girl Flowerchile, and you are tuned into Key to the City.
You got potential, it's so exponential. I love how you're gentle. I feel like you get me, Cupid done hit me. You wrapped up my mental. I don't know if it's forever, but as long as we're together, you can rest assured. It's sure enough nice to know you, baby. Sure enough nice to know. I don't know if it's.
What's going on, kinfolks? It's your kinfolk Yoni. Welcome back to another episode of Key to the City podcast. You know, ain't nothing changed. I appreciate everybody that's been reaching out, supporting, commenting, liking, sharing, just spreading the word about the podcast, man. We sure enough appreciate it. Hey, we don't intend to let you down. We're going to keep providing you with quality content and quality guests. And like I always say, today is no different. You see this queen to the right of me. We're about to find out more about her today. Get all up in her music business. You dig that? She first debuted on the scene with her project,
Hey Clyde.
Huh?
Hey Clyde.
Hey Clyde.
Hey Clyde.
I'm going to edit that up. She first debuted with her project, Hey Clyde, which was a single, correct?
Yes.
And then she followed that up with Rehab.
Correct.
Which is an acronym. I need to find out what that means. I plan to.
Realizing every heartbreak ain't bad.
Ooh. Realizing every heartbreak ain't bad. I love that. And right now we're vibing to a project that she just dropped, an EP called Just a Feelin. And it is really just a feeling. It's showing up a vibe, man. I'm not trying to promote any vices here, but if you into a little, you know, it's certainly laid back for that. And you know what I'm saying? Just a whole vibe, man. And this queen has a soulful voice. Kind of puts me, I don't like comparing artists to other artists, but she kind of puts me into the mind of Erykah Badu. I hear some Adele in there. I hear even some Nina Turner. What's Nina? Nina Simone. I apologize.
That's okay.
Some Nina Simone in there, so very soulful. We're going to find out more about her. Now, you've heard of Children of the Corn. Well, I have one of the Children of the Flowers with us right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, please welcome to the city, Miss Flowerchile. How you doing, Queen?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
I like to think I'm the mother.
The mother? Okay. She giving birth out here. My bad, well, I take that back. The mother of the Children of the Flower.
Yeah.
Flowerchile. How your day going so far?
It's going pretty good. I am getting in gear to make a very big transition in life, professionally, so I'm excited about that. And it's also going to be a new adventure for my music, so I'll keep you posted on that.
Please do keep us posted. We rooting for you.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna tell them your business, but I guess the transition is bittersweet, so to speak.
Well, I think it's about being able to go and get things for yourself, so you can have something to bring back outside. I listen to a lot of like motivational quotes and stuff like that, and I think Beyonce said, "I can't mother things unless I know how to mother myself," and I think you can apply that to a lot of things.
Word.
So, this is a me thing.
Hey, I respect it. It's always good when you can go on an adventure and find yourself, and you know, being in situations where you kind of like stepping out on faith. It really builds your character.
Yeah.
You find out more about who you are and what you can and can't overcome. But I'm sure you overcome everything. So we wish you the best.
Thank you.
But when did you decide, or when did you find out that you had the passion to sing, the gift to sing, and when did you really decide to take it serious?
I decided to take it serious in 2017. 2016 going into 2017, I started writing music to make and put out to people.
Right.
I was in that transition of leaving college and working full time, and I just it's not my passion, and I don't want to live my life in that way.
Right.
And so I was like, I gotta do something. So that motivated me to be my creative self and to kind of it was a challenge because it was like you're different from a lot of people like where they've been doing this, but I was like, I'm just gonna step out on faith and do what I know I've been doing all my life anyway, and see what happens. So
You developed your voice in church like most singers?
A little bit of both. Theater and the church helped a lot. My mother was the first person I think to recognize that I had a creative nature. The first thing I've ever was introduced to as far as artistry is concerned is writing. I'm a fiction writer first.
What?
Yeah.
It seems like it would be so difficult to just, that's really being creative.
I write stories, yeah.
Wow.
And I try to put that into my music. But I've always sang, like, I've always had like this big bubbly personality and like to put on shows for my folks and my family, and she put me in our local theater in my hometown, Newton, Mississippi.
Shout out to Newton,
yes,
Mississippi.
In town. And the Roxy Theater really fostered my creativity in that way. We learned how to sing, dance, act, all that good stuff. And then of course I'm from the country, so we go to the Baptist church, the Methodist church, and I sang in those choirs. And then up here in Jackson, many people don't know this is like home for me too. I have roots here in Central United Methodist Church. My grandmother and I have attended there for years, and I sang there too. So.
Word.
Yeah.
I heard you. I saw that you mentioned Oxford in your bio. Did you attend school there?
I did. I went to the University of Mississippi.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hello, howdy toddy.
Yeah, howdy toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we?
Hey.
Bam. Oh, Miss by that.
Yes.
I still remember it. It's been a minute. That's my old stomping grounds.
Okay.
I didn't graduate though.
That's okay.
I got in trouble,
You
man.
go, you graduate. In some way, shape, form, or fashion.
But I had the time of my life. Were you putting out any music on campus?
No, I wasn't putting music out on campus. I didn't start putting music out until after college, actually.
Right.
I started like the writing process and the recording process during school, but I finished in December of 2017.
Okay.
And Hey Clyde was released in February of 2018. And in college, I was actually very nervous. Like, I would sign up for competitions and wouldn't go sing. And once I got out of that, like I said, it was a breeze, and I started getting picked up to perform with some of like the local live bands. I love performing with live bands, and doing things like around the square and things of that nature. So not in college, but still treaded the city a little bit.
Shout out to the square.
Yeah.
I passed out
Nothing
many
like
times
it.
out there. With your first single, Hey Clyde, who the hell is Clyde?
Oh, you sound like my cousin.
Who is Clyde, man?
Clyde,
There can't be no young guy named Clyde.
I tell everyone has a Clyde. Someone that you believe you can go above and beyond for in that given moment. But you don't necessarily know how to tell them that. So Clyde's not necessarily a person, it's just a feeling about somebody. I'll say that. Yeah.
I respect that. But did Clyde lead you to rehab? Put you in rehab?
Clyde did take me to rehab.
Realizing every heartache.
And I wanted to celebrate
the
spirit of relationships in that song. Realizing every heartbreak ain't bad, because you go through things, you feel these emotions, you get happy, you get sad, but then once you reflect and realize you had to go through it to get through it, it's fun. So the song is fun, while it's also, like I said, very reflective.
You learn a lot from heartbreak.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's some positives you can take away from heartbreak. Now, getting into your style, like it's so, your voice would be like, if I had to describe it, I told you about your vices earlier, but taking that vice and sitting on a cloud with your feet kicked up, with your beats on your ear, listening to Flowerchile is the vibe I get from you. Like, who shaped your sound? Who inspired your style? Who some of the artists you looked up to?
Some of the artists I looked up to, and that's why I think it's important to search my full discography, because I make a lot of different kind of sounds. Dance With You is a pop anthem. Finer Things has got like a hip hop vibe to it. And then we have Hey Clyde, it's kind of indie. So I have been blessed to be able to explore music on my own. My mom would let me buy like CDs, and I was one of the girls I was listening to Now That's What I Call. And you know, those CDs had those CDs had a little bit of everything on them. And so growing up, I was listening to Beyonce, and I was listening to Jill Scott because my mama liked Jill Scott.
I love Jill Scott. Yes. You got her vibe
Flowerchile.
too.
And I also would listen to like Nickelback. So there's like the rock influence. Nina Simone. I do my research and I study Tina Turner. Women who are afraid to break boundaries. Because like I tell people, this last album Beyonce put out was important to me because it showcased she's not. I feel like genres are really restrictive, and she put out an album that sounded like so many different things, and that's what I wanted to really achieve with Just A Feelin as well. Don't box me, and so people like that, like I said, who have remained independent in their creativity in that way, are always an inspiration to me.
Now, do all of your tracks or most of them come from personal experiences? Or you just be, well, if you write fictional then.
Yeah, I just be making up stories. Most of them come from some sort of personal inspiration, I'll say that. But I pull from a little bit of everything. I'll say that things that go on around me, a good writer pays attention to things besides themselves.
Right. Before we get in your current project, you also performed at Jackson Indie Music Week this past January. How was that experience? Was that your first one?
No. So it was great to be there for a second time this year. My first one was last year, 2019, and that was a very good experience because it was my first like big venue performance. And so to come back this year and to be somewhere so intimate like Finian's was really fun. Because I got to connect with my audience on a different level, and I was so surprised and grateful and thankful because I had such a big crowd, and they were really supportive, and I always try to welcome them just like they welcome me and my music, and put on a good show, and it was fun. So
how would you compare your first experience to your second experience?
I wasn't as nervous the second time. It was just like doing it the second time, and leading up to that was a shit show. It's just like when you're running around and you're trying to put things together, and I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be how I want it to be, and I wasn't seeing that in the beginning, and as we went through and we got there that Friday for the performance, I was like, Lord, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and it turned out perfect in its own way. So
and so since that was your second time, and I see you also repping Vitamin C with the shirt. What do you think of the Mississippi music scene?
I think it's abundant. And I think that as long as we keep nurturing each other in the ways that we can, we're going to prosper.
Have you worked with any local artists?
I have worked with Vitamin C.
Okay.
We performed together at the at Gym Week. She was a part of my set, and we put together a mental health album for the people. That's a topic to me that's very important. So I try to incorporate that into my artistry when I can. And other artists I've worked with. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be telling this, but I love him and I want him to hurry up and drop the album.
I got an exclusive coming.
Big Josh.
Big Josh?
Yeah.
Put me on Big Josh.
Big Josh. You can find him. Have you ever heard of Young Jules?
Oh, yeah, I already interviewed
Of course,
Jules.
everybody's heard of Young Jules. But he's had some features with her. So if you like check out her music, you'll be able to discover him. And then he also has music out as well on Apple Music. Big Josh, B-I-G-G Josh. And he lyrically he's cold, and his deliverance is so powerful to me. And so I was very proud when he asked me to be on his upcoming project. I have worked with D. Horton.
Oh man, that track is awesome. Golly. And I interviewed Casey Youngbone last night, and he put me on D. Horton, so I definitely have to check more tracks out from him.
Genius as well.
I could tell from the bars. I was like, Jesus Christ, run that
and
back.
That verse, he wrote that verse in like less than like you close your eyes.
Wow. Some people just have it, man.
Yeah.
Now, getting into your new EP, Just A Feelin. Amazing project, by the way. Not just gassing her up because she's right here. And she got long nails and she could probably scratch me up.
Oh, well, I don't think they got no
They look
scratch
good,
on them.
though.
Thank you. My homegirl doing.
Shout out to the homegirl doing nails. She looking good for Key to the City. But man, it's a whole vibe, I promise you. And even though like you had that mellow sound, and forgive me because I'm having a brain fart right now, but the last track on the album, give me the name of it. Careless.
Yes.
That's the one that kind of gave me the Adele vibe.
Yes.
What was the motivation behind the entire project?
The motivation behind the project was to just express, it was like my journal last year. I'll say that, creating it. And I really wanted to put together a story about falling in love, realizing you're not in love, and coming out of that. And it's very introspective in that way, down to the interludes. And I just, like I said, wanted to create something that could showcase that in a story-like manner. Starting out with the sweet and the spicy, and then you get into the crying in the club, and then you get into the I don't give a fuck about you no more of it. And that's where Careless comes in, and that was like my little, I tell people that was like my little frequent dress rock anthem. Yeah.
You definitely go through the phases of a relationship. My favorite joint off there is I don't know if it's right.
Yeah.
But it was nice to know you is while we,
While we was here. Right.
What was the inspiration behind that song, man?
Just that. A lot of times I think that young people especially, we date with the intention of like, oh, we gotta be together forever.
Right.
And I wanted to create something that said like, there's no pressure on it. If it works out that way, great. But if not, it was cool. We could dap it up. We could be homies. And truthfully, I just wanted to create something that was light and fun and sweet. I don't feel like we have enough of that.
Right.
Most of the R&B music I hear is like very like all in some way or another. And like I said, I just wanted something that had a little lightness.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of my pet peeves from previous relationships, like I used to tell my ex-girlfriend all the time, I hate when women tell me, I never felt this way about nobody else but you. I'm gonna love you forever. This is a bond that will never end. And you a damn lie.
Well,
you know you're caught up in the moment.
And so it's about the feeling. It's just a feeling. And you don't really know. We don't know anything as people, as human beings. And so to be able to accept that and just enjoy the moment. And that's what I really wanted that song to be about.
It definitely touched your boy.
Thank you.
What would you say, like overall, out of all your projects, what's the message within your music? What are you trying to get across?
Love. In any capacity, I would just like to preach love and be able to be and express that through my artistry.
So whether it's temporary or unconditional,
The not so good side of it,
So you're more into the experience of the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's like anything. It's got layers, like an onion. It's not just this one thing. And I think, like I said, I showcased that through my project here. And I hope to keep doing that.
You definitely did that. Key to the City podcast. We got my kinfolk in the building, Flowerchile. You don't have to give me all the secrets, but briefly tell me about, like, I'm interested in what's your writing process. Do you have to be inspired to write, or would you being a fictional writer do? Some people wake up out of their sleep. Oh, let me write
this down. Yes. I find myself going through a lot of that. But also, like, if I hear something and it speaks to me, like the instrumental, I can write to it pretty easily. I'm not gonna write anything I don't mean. And my process, the most fun song, I had the most fun writing Rehab. Because it was really like a process, you know, like the 12 steps you have to go through. It was really like a process, like putting it together. Like one day I come up with something for what was going to be the hook, and then one day something would come to my head when I was taking out the trash for the bridge, you know, and it came together just like rehab. And so it was fun, and that was the first time I had just actually let a song come to me, I guess, in that way. Because all of my other songs, I've been like sitting there and it's been like, all right, what are we gonna do with you? So that one was really fun. Crying in the Club came to me like
That's
that though.
That's a hard track.
Thank you. I was just sitting in my bed and I found the instrumental and I was just like, and it just kind of came out of me. So it varies. It's never like this one thing. If my spirit feels it, I can write it. Somebody send me some fire, I can write it. So send me some fire, cause I can write it.
And you write all your material?
Yes, I write everything.
She write everything. Have you written for other artists?
I have not written for other artists, but that is something that I would love to get into.
Now,
because I've written a few songs that I feel like other artists would shine with as well.
What kind of vibe were those songs?
I always tell people I would be happy to sell finer things. And that's my song. It's like, let me get that cash about ya. Yeah, and it's just real fun. I like that. I've written some songs that I'm tucking away in my song bag. I'm gonna call it that, but they're not like out yet. But it's some that I would really like to throw at some people. Just say here, just say I wrote it.
You are so talented.
Thank you.
And with somebody with your skill level, like I'm always interested in knowing like what defines success for you. Like what do you consider success? Most people want to build a following base that they can tour forever. Most people want to make a lot of money. Most people want to go platinum. Like, what's
my idea of success? I think that's a good question. I think every day I am successful in the fact that I get to pursue what I'm doing. And as long as I can do that freely and openly and in the way that I want to, that feels like success to me. Of course, it would be nice to reach these like pillars that we think we get to when we're somebody, but I feel like as long as I have a song in my heart and I'm able to sing it, your girl is all right.
I respect that. That's interesting you say that.
Yes.
Because as long as you're in a position where you're able to express yourself, because it doesn't necessarily mean money will make you happy.
Yeah.
It may make things easier, or so to speak. But I definitely think you have not only the catalog but the skill to continue to build a fan base that you can make music forever and make a living off of it just from doing that.
Thank you.
That's just my opinion. Have you been on any tours?
No, I have not. Well, I have not been on any tours, but last year we got the chance to do something called the Lighthouse, and that was put together by D. Horton, and it was this crew. It was me, Charity, Vitamin C, Josh Waters, High on Basshead Jazz, Quavy's Black, and we all like gathered in Alabama and put on Mo the Soul, he was there, and we all put on like this big showcase, and it was just different artists, and everybody had a different flavor that they brought to the stage, and so that was the first thing I had been on where it had been like a collaboration, if you will, and we all had to come to a place to do something, so that was cool. I hope we get to do it again.
That's what's up. Have you ever reached out to Dollar Black?
I have. I had the opportunity to sit with Dollar and work with Dollar. Dollar's actually been on one of my tracks before. Now that I think about it. Speaking of people we collaborate with, there's this song I made called Eons and Lifetimes, and I said, will you hop on this for me? And he did. And he did exactly what I asked him to do, better than I could have asked him to do it. And he's always been nurturing in that way to us, making sure, we have our head on straight. We know our business first and foremost. And if you have a question, he's going to answer it. So So yes, Dollar Black is a gem.
He always on top of that.
Fifth Child is also a gem.
Oh yeah, shout out to Fifth. I'm
That's
trying
the
to get him on
engineer
the
for
show.
this project.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And the production is that you just searching?
I just searched them. And it's funny. I like to talk about the production of it though because I have an ear. I've made my own music before, and I play piano. I had lessons when I was a child and lost all of that, and so now I play mostly by ear. And it's funny when you were talking about my writing process. Sometimes it comes to me in a melody first, and then I can pick it out on my piano and go from there. So
that's amazing.
yeah.
You know how to read music?
Not any. Well, my grandma, she teaches me because she's very skilled in that, and she tries to sit down with me sometimes. So I know the basics, but not enough to like teach a class.
I took a class on music theory. I'm like,
music majors, we salute you.
Man, what? I'm like, what is this shit? I put this on the line, and I was so lost in there. But yeah, shout out to music majors, man. They underestimate you. So, Key to the City podcast. Flowerchile is in the building, the mother of all the children of the flowers. I know we riding a wave off of this current EP. Any other projects we got planned for 2020 that you can speak about?
Nothing I can speak about. You can look for content in conjunction with the project I just put out to be put out some music videos and some other fun things this year. And then I am in the process of. I'm always writing. I'm always going through things. So I'm in the process of what I will say, making grown girl music. So I look forward to people seeing me in a new light. Because the best compliment I've had thus far is that I don't sound like anybody.
Nobody.
And that is what it's nice to be compared. Don't get me wrong. But to hear that and to know that it's some truth to it, I just kind of want to foster that and continue to find myself and my sound and develop myself and just see where it goes.
Well, you have a beautiful voice, man.
Thank you.
I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep writing from your heart. Keep being unfiltered. We need that.
Thank you.
We need that in our lives. If my audience wants to follow you, somebody wants to reach out to book you, how can they do that?
You can book me through email, and it is flowerchilechild@gmail.com, and that contact information is on my Instagram, which is flowerchilechild, and it's CHILE.
Child.
Child, like
You
your
know how
grandma
y'all
would
say
say.
it, yeah. Child.
So flower, CHILE. Instagram is my most active platform, what I use to tell my story as far as my branding is concerned. And like I said, if you want to find me, you probably find me through there.
All right. And before I let you go, normally I ask this to all the rappers, but I think this would be interesting to hear from a singer like yourself. Can you give me top 5 artists from Mississippi that you like? No particular order, not including yourself.
Crystal Gem.
Crystal Gem, I have to get you. Yeah.
Vitamin C.
Of
the
course.
Vitamin C.
Shout out to C. What's going on, baby?
The Paid Hipster.
What's going on, Jules?
I would say Dre Dice.
Dre Dice, that's new to me.
And Kenny Pahina.
Oh, shout out to Kenny. I met him a couple times. We definitely had to get him on the show.
And even though this is a top 5 list, I feel like we have to throw Dev Mac in there.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a storm in himself. Yes.
Shout out Dev Mac. I hollered at you a couple times. We're gonna get you on, bro.
He's legit.
That's what's up. Well, I'm so glad you stopped by today. I love your spirit.
Thank you.
I love
It's
your
been
energy.
fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I try to make it fun. This your kinfolk.
Yes, kinfolk.
When you chilling with your kinfolk, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can talk about anything. So I'm glad you stopped through. I definitely will be in touch with you. Even if it's just sending you a message here and there to see what's going on with you, keep going.
Sounds good.
And if nobody else told you, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And you keep rocking. And that's why you got the key to the city today.
Nee.
Any last words from my audience?
Buy my project.
Straight like
Thank
that.
you for listening to it.
Go buy the project, check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you're going through something, especially relationship-wise, this is the one you need. Especially, I don't know if it's forever. If you're going through something for years, stop hanging on, man. Everything ain't got to last forever now. You learn something from that person and move on.
Period.
You dig that? This is the Key to the City podcast. I'm your kinfolk Yoni. She is the beautiful Queen Flowerchile, and we are out. Peace.